welcome. This is the start of the stream, and this is yet another hour and a half to 2 hours of mapping goodness. This is going to be second episode of Age of Antiquity. I got that right. And last time we just mapped out the city. Voila. And so tonight we are going to be drawing in some of the details. Now this is actually a great accompanying video to my how to draw a city, which is also on YouTube. Go check it out and let me know your comments. Because really we're starting from scratch. We're using digital ink to draw this thing, and we're kind of at a similar sort of stage. That one I'm already drawing in some of the buildings. Tonight we're going to be drawing in our river, our coastline, our harbours, and our wall. I don't know if we'll get all of that done, but we're going to be giving it a good go. This will probably catch up with the how to draw a city. So honestly, watch them both, because it's going to be awesome. So with that said, let's jump into this puppy and let's start the process. I think we can minimize all of that and let's get into this. Okay, so first and foremost, I have the whole thing there as kind of like a sketch. If you were doing this ink on paper, that would be your pencil layer. And to emphasize the point, I'm going to actually drop the opacity down to something like that. And we're going to rename this to trace. I always just call it trace. And that's the equivalent that you've literally got your pencil out and you've kind of just mapped out where you want anything. Anything, everything. Now, the only difference here, by the way, is originally this was going to be like the poor district. I have shown this to the client. They're just going to shift it more like this. And I actually think that's a good move, because we can shift the port closer to the docks and the harbours and warehouses and stuff. More of an industrial sort of zone. And like almost, it would be kind of like the backyard to the marketplace. I think it'll be a good area to put the port. The slums. Less around the military harbour. So we do have a lot of drawing just to get our coastline and everything in place. It's probably going to include the harbour tonight. So let's jump into it. Everything else, by the way, is on point. It's approved. This military camp right here, I might adjust the size and or the layout. We will see. We have a scale bar on this. I want to measure this out. Kind of compare it to, let's say, a Roman camp. Just because we've got kind of dimensions for that, and see how it goes. And there's my scale bar right there, which is not that one, so it's on the trace layer, so we're just going to leave that right there. Okay, let's get into this. I'm going to be picking a pen pressure size brush, and we're gonna make a decision now what sort of thickness of brush we want. Might be, for the coastline, that may not actually be too bad. So that's 30. That's 30. So let's add a new note, shall we? If I can figure out how. Use the note tool to add a note. Use the note tool. Hey, Alex Vixen, good to see you. Sharp claws and all. I never do notes. I'm trying to be a better person. I never add notes in Photoshop, and people are always telling me that I should. But like, it won't let me. Like, how do I add a new note? Oh, I bet it's over here somewhere. I don't know. I'm already getting bored. I'm getting bored of trying. I don't want to try anymore. I'll figure it out off stream. It's got to be in there. Anyway, it's gone. Bored. I'm going to write it down on a separate layer. Alright. Notes. So we are going to do 30 picks for the coastline. I'm thinking 20 picks for the buildings, but we'll come back to that. We're gonna go to our ink layer. We're gonna do some drawing. We're gonna do some drawing. And if you were literally using ink on paper, no, that was your pencil in the background, you would literally ink it just like I am right now. Now, I do have one advantage over you, though. It's like if I screw up, I can erase it. But I can also come in and do things like this for adding docs and stuff. But we're going to come back to that in a moment. How have you been, Alex Vixen? It's actually been quiet these last couple of days, don't you think? It's like people have got lives or something. Like, what the hell? Okay, and now when I come into docs and everything, by the way, I would draw these a little bit differently, but I'm just gonna get the coastline kind of in place for now. And we're gonna see how it looks. Hey, Wargaming's here. Wargaming, I have not seen you in a while, my friend. I hope you're doing well. Wargaming, why are you trying to confuse me by saying it's Thursday? Like, what are you doing to me? You know you're going to throw me off my stride. Go, looking good. Let's stick with that. Let's stick with that. Okay, so if we've got little docs like this, by the way, and I was kind of putting them here for general ideas. I don't want to make the main docs here, but I do want to have some like little fishing wharfs and stuff. We're going to do something like this. And I think we might grab our little scale bar just to make sure everything's measuring up. But then I also like to do this. I was at a English seaside town. I forget which one it was, but it was, you know, it was a southern place. They all look the same. It was Portsmouth or something. But it wasn't as big as Portsmouth. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But I remember I was sitting there and I was looking at these small fishing boats and everything. And I was looking at this little harbour that they had. But I was also looking at, they had some steps and things going down into the water. And I was like, I like that. I like that detail. So I've been adding them to my maps ever since. "700 meters square. 700 meters square. Give me that in height and width. I don't like either of those lines, so we're going to do them. So Wargaming, when we last saw you, you were working a crazy volume of hours. Is that still the case? You know, I don't like this one. My pen may be too thick for this right here, but I'm going to persist because I'm a stubborn cow. There we go. Okay, so what I was going to say is, I think... Yeah, I'm actually gonna do something right here. I like the idea of doing something like this. Let's keep that. Let's keep. I'm not quite sure how I'm gonna approach this, but I'm gonna do something like this. It's definitely not 350 by 350. Put that into a calculator, you're going to find that it's way off. I mean, 700 meters would be more like 20 by 20, you know? Wargaming Recon, officially still doing 2 jobs at work. You see, that is just nuts. I can just F off. That's just not realistic. Unofficially, I'm doing a 3rd full-time job. Well, hold on. You can't do 3 jobs. I'm sorry, but that's just completely nuts to have 3 jobs. That is just not even realistic. Okay, so what I'm thinking about here is kind of creating a smaller little harbor area. Something just for little fishing boats. Now the main harbour is over here. That's where the merchants and everything hang out. But just a small little fishing place. Alright, so... No. Okay, so 2,296 feet. So about 2,000 feet by 2,000 feet. Yeah, well, hold on. You said 700 meters square. Oh, 700 meters square. I gotcha. So, hold on a sec. Let's get our... Let's get our scale. I feel like I need to just sort of grab this. Let's grab a copy of it. We can always clean it up later on, but if that is our scale, why is this interfering? What is going on? Here, there we go. Okay, so if we grab that, and you said 2,000? 2,000 feet. But no, there's got to be something wrong there. That bar is 2,000 feet. That would be freaking huge. That's like 4 times the Colosseum. I mean, I can't put that on the island. That's nuts. I'll look into it later. We've got to go with a smaller size. That's literally going to be quarter of the city. And that just seems... I mean, that may be a version of a camp. It may be the origin of Chester, you know, where I grew up. The whole thing was walled off and it became a city. But I don't think that's really what we're intending in that little island there. Wargaming. They're wackadoo. I asked for an assistant and was told there's no dollars in the budget. And so I stress eat junk food. And yeah. That's just completely unreasonable to be doing 3 people's jobs. Like, that is just... That makes me angry. That makes my blood boil. And Alex Fiction, I know it's an average size, but it's also, but still, my point remains that that's fucking huge. Because it would be quarter of the city, so not really quite what I'm after. I'll look at that link later. Honestly, I have enough links and dozens and dozens and dozens of books. So we'll figure something out. It might have to be larger than what I've got drawn here. But it can't be that large. It can't be quarter of the city. Now, what we could do, though, is have, like, a garrison here, the governor's mansion, and smaller posts around and kind of get the size of it, but in a distributed manner. So we'll see. We'll play around. Wargaming Recon, I don't know how you actually have time to do anything. Literally anything. I don't know how you're functioning right now. Completely nuts. Let's just draw this and see where it nets out. My eye was pretty on point. Okay, I'll take that. I'll take that. Now, though, scale-wise, how wide is that bridge, and do I need to make it wider? I feel like I might need to make it wider. 40 feet wide. 40 feet's pretty wide for a bridge, isn't it? How wide is London Bridge? Hey, there's Noble. Wargaming, you can't keep doing 3 jobs and not sleeping. You will literally get to some serious health problems. That shit's gotta stop. What am I doing? Width of London Bridge. $60 feet Tower Bridge. Westminster Bridge is 85 feet. Then the Millennium Bridge is 13. Wow, they're a little fella. It's like a bicycle lane. So 60 to 80 feet might be a better width. Noble Dwarf says 105. Alex Fixit, I like that idea. Oh, London Bridge 105. I was Tower Bridge 60, Westminster Bridge 85. Okay, so 100 feet would be... maybe twice the width of what we got drawn there. Well, that's 80. Actually, I'm about 80 feet wide. I'm 80 feet wide right now. That's not bad. 80 feet wide. I think I'll do 80 feet wide for that one. And then we'll go more like 100 for those 2 bridges right there. Which, might as well draw them in right now. Wargamer, you can actually hear him, huh? He is actually downstairs. There's a couple of rooms and a flight of stairs, and he is crying so much that you can hear him all the way up here. Okay, so... that's a little wider, so that's more like London Bridge right there. So that's a good width, I'm okay with that. No, come on, Faden, get the angle. There you go. There you go. You could do it. You could do it. Alright, let's hit save. I think this is shaping up. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a nice little enclosed harbour here as well, I think. Something right about here. Something that the governor uses, you know? Maybe here. Here-ish. Yeah, here-ish. Away from the poor people. Those nasty, nasty poor people. And then we've got to draw the Carthage harbour too. So let's get all of that in. It's be fun. Noble Dwarf, send pics. In fact, not Noble Dwarf, Wargaming Recon, send pics if you're comfortable doing so. I'd love to see. I'd love to see. I'm actually going to be ordering some of my own merchandise here shortly. What is going on with you? Hey? What is going on? What's going on? So Wargaming, I basically have quietly acquired all of those t-shirts that you sent for Jack and I, because obviously I washed them all together and I kind of kept them all. So that's one reason why you see me wearing them so much, because I have 4 of them. 4? Something like. Hasn't twigged on Jack yet that he hasn't had his back. So I'm saying nothing. But yeah, Wargamer, you and I have spoken about this before. Like, you know, I've got my own merchandise and I never bloody wear it because I don't own any. I literally don't own any. My stepmother has some of my stuff. She actually sent me a picture the other day of her wearing one of my t-shirts. And here's me. Not in it. So I'm going to be getting a few. Okay, let's, how do I want to do this? Like, right about here-ish. Here-ish? Here-ish. Let's do it right about here. What I'm thinking about is, like, a little bit of a royal sort of docking area. Just in case His Majesty wishes to use it. Alternatively, I haven't actually connected these 2 land masses. I want to connect these 2 land masses. I guess his lordship could leave his villa and move past the garrison there. If he wishes to move about like a prole. Okay, we'll come back into some building details on that later. I just want to kind of get that earmarked off. You know what? I want one of my blankies too. They look so bloody good. I'm definitely going to be getting one of my blankies. You know who has one of my blankies? Pex. He has like 2 of them. I'm like, yeah, but where's mine? Like, looks so... I'm not even sure if my blankies are available for sale yet. I'm kind of like a little bit hazy on that. I also actually need more of my cups. Like, Noble Dwarf does such a bloody good job of them. They look so good. And I just have a prototype. So I need to get another one of my finished cups. Maybe even a few. How do I want to do this? Something like this, I suppose. No, that's wrong. That's wrong. Don't do that. Do this. This. Just minor little piers and stuff, jetties, for sundry boat traffic. You know, nothing too crazy. Oh, the shark mug! I should absolutely get the shark mug. Is it good? I need to get the shark mug. Like, I see photographs of it, but I want to get that. Alex Fiction, I will hook you up. I will hook you up. You've been a great supporter of the channel. You're here nearly all of the time, and you're on such a different time zone. You're a great moderator. I would love to hook you up. I'll have a little friendly conversation with Noble Dwarf, and we'll see what we can get sent across to you. I have your miniature, almost finished painting too. Gotta get that shark mug. Alright, something like that. I feel like... Yeah, the garrison... I'm going to put a small jetty on the garrison here, but it's not what soldiers use. I could see a commander or something using it. But this is the main military harbour. Like, that's where the warships are going to come in. But I feel like there would have to be a way for some posh, toft, bloody commander type, you know, to come and go on his little barge. So let's do something with that. That might be too large. Let's make it a little bit more modest. Shark bug twins. I'm into that. Okay, something like that. And we need to connect these two land masses. So I guess there's a question. If I was building a bridge, would I build it direct like this? Or would I build it using the natural islands? Would there be advantage in using the islands like that? I like the idea of doing option 1. It seems cleaner. But is that just going to be an engineering faux pas and I should be using option 2? What are your thoughts? Hey, Brian is here. Good to see you, Brian. Always good to see you. How is life treating you? Mm. You know what? Let's just do it this way. Let's just do it that way. Let's create an interesting shape. I like that shape. Alex Vixen, whose brain I very much respect. I have it using the connecting islands as a small island would be used as a keep, as a last line of defense. Oh, I'm liking where you're going with this. Oh, sold. Sold. And it is Brian's weekend. Oh, well, you know what? I'm going to delete all of this because we're going to draw a keep on there. I love that idea. So, Brian, what sort of hours have you been working? What's your shift look like? Right. Let's just see if this looks half decent. Yeah, I think that looks good. Throw a keep on there. It's going to look pretty badass, I think. Yeah, this is shaping up to be something nice. Nice, Gary. Nice. 6 to 2. 6 o'clock in the morning to 2 in the afternoon. Saturday to Wednesday. That's not too bad. I used to work earlys like that. That's not too bad. I suppose the worst part for me, if I was going to be working shifts again, would be the inability to sort of sync up with friends for, you know, role-playing and such. It would just make things more difficult that way. But I used to work 6 to 1:30 one week. Then the following week, you would do an afternoon shift, 1:30 to 9. Then the following week, you'd do the night shift and you'd work 9 to 6 in the morning. And I was a big fan. I was a big fan. I found that I had more time to myself, you know? More time for doing things. Like, I work nowadays 7 o'clock until like 5 o'clock at night. And I find that it just messes with everything. It messes with every single schedule. It like dominates the day. I'd much rather work like 6 to 1:30. Done. I might put kind of a rich area dark here, like where they've got their yachts and shit, you know, or their river barges. Let's do something like that. Let's make it kind of special. A little bit of a tweak. Right, we'll finish that off later, but something like that. Make that area feel a little bit more upper class. Particularly because it's actually close to a major temple. And that seems to make sense to me. You know, maybe priests don't want to go across the bridge or something. I don't know. Feel like they would have some religious ceremonies coming across that bridge right there. Wargaming Recon. Yeah, my day's about a 10-hour day. Yeah, and so I have a different challenge than you, Wargaming Recon. You're working literally stupid hours. Like, literally. I would die if I was working the hours you are. But I have a long day. Monday to Friday. And it's really up in the air if I actually get a lunch break or not. You know, it's one of those sort of situations. Not complaining seems to be the American way of life. Hey, listen, gnome. I don't know which one that is, because there are... No, actually, hold a minute. Hold on, listen, gnome. Listen, gnome. There's only one lesser gnome. What are you doing here? What are you literally doing here? Alex Fixon, look at my new 60-foot river barge. Isn't it grand? Very pretty. Now get your dinky ass tub out of my marina before I run you over with my 200-foot trireme. Talking of which, let's start moving our way towards this harbour. I'm going to make this harbour, by the way, quite a bit bigger on the circle, I think. This is kind of like the dimensions of the Carthage harbour. I'm going to maybe narrow the mouth, just, well, maybe not. But I'm gonna definitely make the circle bigger. I want it to feel way more Carthage. Oh! That's awesome. So everyone, just so you know, Lesser Gnome actually is a VR nut. Is literally a VR nut. And he is, right now, playing around with setting up a group viewing on a big screen, VR-wise, which he's got thrown out as an open invite. And apparently he's here watching us. So that's kind of cool. We're in VR. I don't know why I'm doing this. It's nothing to do with VR. Wargaming. Yeah, I do between 46, 50 hours a week, every week. But, I mean, you know, when you're management, I think it's expected of you. You're working more than that, but doing 3 jobs anyway. Honestly, the easiest job I had from a point of view of hours was back in England. The minute I moved to the States, all of that changed. I'm not saying that the States has unrealistic expectations, because like compared to, let's say, Japan, it's nothing. But there's definitely a different work mentality. Plus, in all fairness, I did work at a union job. No one is working excessive hours in a union job. I worked 37.5 hours. I don't like that. What do I not like about it? I don't know. But we're going to change it. See, I like that. 35 hours per week. I like that. That would give me a lot more time to myself. That would make me happy. But you look at someone like, you know, the self-employed troll lords and frog guards. Those guys are pulling in 50, 60, 70 hours a week. So, you know, I really consider myself to be not hard done to. Doctors and nurses, particularly in this day and age. I mean, God, what hours are they putting in? Nah, if I've got a regular job with a regular routine, that just looks so funky. I'm going to get rid of this. What do I want to do with it? What do I want to do with it? When Alex Vixen was a bouncer, 7 p.m. to 4 a.m. Is that 9 hours? 45-hour weeks. And a much harder job than mine, too. Yeah, we'll go with something like that. Kind of like little docking area for smaller boats, not in the way of river traffic coming through. Let's try that. Now here's the thing. I think I'm going to alter the angle of the harbour. I'm gonna actually have it come like this. I'm sorry with the cat going in the background, by the way. He's fed and everything. I don't know why he's whinging. Hey, Pex is here, whooshing in. Half an hour freaking late. That's not a whoosh. That's a whoosh, wish. Pex, you get a kick out of this. We've been talking about job hours. I'm pretty sure that your hours are some of the hardest here. I think that angle could be fun. I wonder if I should angle it more. You know, ships are going to come in here. They're going to sail in like this. I wonder if I should angle it more. But there has to be a point where you slow down anyway, right? So maybe having a little bit of a curve that you have to do. It won't look like a straight shot in. Maybe a straight shot in will look completely unnatural. Let's go with that. I think I'm feeling that. Alright, so this is definitely bigger than the Carthage one. What's a good stroke size on this? Let's try 10. Yeah, that's not far off the mark. Well done, Faden. Well done. Sometimes I impress myself. Alex Vixen, the river flow would have a natural braking effect on any vessel heading in. True that. Alright, so actually let me just pull up a couple of pictures. We've done this before, but so what we're going to be shooting for is something like this. Obviously the sea walls are not the same. We've got to do a narrower entrance here with fortifications. We're going to be drawing something like this on the interior. I should have done this first. So actually, let's open that in a new tab. Let's open that in a new tab. Let's get some information from that. Open that in a new tab. This, I think, is the dimensions that we got previously. I like this. Hold on. This is nice. Oh, sorry. I'm completely distracted now. Whoever drew this, that's very nice. That's lovely, that is. Very nice. Alright. Yeah, it was nice, wasn't it? And it had some lovely details on there. Yeah, okay. I'm actually gonna redraw this. Hold on a sec. because I want to be able to take advantage of selecting the circle and then drawing smaller on it, and I'm not going to be able to do that with how I had deleted some content. So if we bring it to like here, does that feel right? I feel like one side is longer than the other, but I can't explain it. Maybe that's closer. Okay, so we're now going to select, modify, contract. And my little window is over here. I don't know how much I've got to actually bring it in. Let's try 50 pixels. Oof. Okay. So I probably need to give it, what, about 100, 150 feet for the ship covers. So that's actually maybe even close to, maybe, you know, if we did that 160 type of thing. I think we need more than that. Lesser Known, thank you so much for the gifted sub. That is fantastic. Alex Vixen. There you go. That's awesome. Lesser Known, you rock. You rock. You and your virtual big screen that you've got going on over there. You know, let's just deselect that. Let's bring our scale in. Where's my scale? Where's my scale? Shit. Okay, I've got to zoom out. Fine. There's my scale. So if I want... I don't really want to... I'm going to use that just as a measurement. I don't want 160 feet. I think 160 feet would be too big for, like, you know, a trireme and the likes. So let's do more like, you know, that. More of an insinuation of like 150 feet, which is still freaking big. But I think that'll look good. Magnificent Pecs, don't challenge her. Don't challenge her. Oh, wait, Lesser Gnome is going to talk to you. Actually, if Lesser Gnome orders you to talk to him, there's really nothing I can do about it, and you know that. Alright. Let's go back to this layer here, there. Select, modify, contract. Let's try 60 pixels. How much is that going to give us? Close. You know what I don't like about Photoshop? And I think I'm going to redo this because of it. Do you see how when you select the circle and you bring it in, do you see how it actually starts to make like these odd angles? They've never fixed it. It's done it forever. And the more I contract this in, the more almost square it's gonna get. Their math is just like off. So, but I do like this kind of distance that we're in, but I am gonna get rid of this. And we're gonna redraw it. For things like this, obviously Illustrator would be better, but I am not going to draw a map in Illustrator. I would be here forever. It's not my chosen tool. Yeah, Brian, you see that, right? It's always done it. It's always done it. And the more you actually step in and contract, the more that it will just keep on actually making it worse and worse and worse and worse. It's nuts. Their math must have like this, you know, rounding thing going on. I don't know. Does that feel centerish? I think it does. Okay, yeah, something like that. Something like that. And then the bit in the center is also round. Yeah, you could see that it's doing it there too. See, look. That's almost a hexagon at this point. Octagon? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's like, okay, thanks Photoshop. And this is their latest version too, because I subscribe to their, you know, service. So it's totally current. And it's been like this since I've been drawing in Photoshop for years. That's pretty good. Yeah, you see, that's got a nice feel to it. Let's just hide our scale bar. I think that's got a pretty good feel to the military harbor. I'm going to hit save real quick. Actually, just generally speaking, I'm beginning to quite like the shape that we've got going on here. Let's do a little bit of a cleanup of this area. Yeah, we can clean up this too. Let's do that. Now I'm getting rid of the pencil, just so it's a little easier to see what we're doing. A little easier to start imagining this city taking shape here. And I don't think we need to do too much with that right now. There we go. And we can get rid of that. Now I need to bring this harbour mouth in just a little bit. We're going to be putting some towers here. In fact, let's just bring these back into view. So this is our inspiration. The last time I actually put a, I cut out to the sides. In fact, those are all really small. But if I kind of zoom in on this a little bit. So the last time we did something like this, and I kind of like this shape actually. Like, it's not quite square sides. Might do something like this. But I kind of cut out here, and we had like, this was on the Locatoy map. We had a boatyard area here. I don't think we're going to do that. We're going to do something way more like this here. And this is where all of the merchant shipping is going to be. This is where they dock. Just like this. And I think that would be kind of cool. We're going to do the wall at the end there. What's going on with this one? I can't quite make this out. This is a very small image. But I think that they're actually doing this whole sort of wharf area. Wharf? Anyway, they're kind of cutting out. So we might do something similar to this. I like the idea of putting towers at the end there too. Tabletop Santa, welcome. Alex Vixen, don't abuse that two-tier tub. Two-tier tub. Don't abuse that. Apparently my one glass of wine and I'm sozzled. Okay, so let's get this in place. And this will be good actually because it will soften up this corner right there. So that'll be nice. Okay, best way of doing this. Let's make this interesting. So, what if we did something like this? I'm gonna drop this down to like 10. There we go. If we go there, to there, to there. We'll clean this up a little bit in a second. Let's just get our basic shape down now. If we go to there, and then we kind of come across to, let's say, here, and then up to there. And then this, what if that goes to, like, here? Actually, let's... Oh, my eraser is a little on the large side there. And then here... And here, we go from there to kind of there to there. Sort of. That would be an interesting shape. Alex Vixen, I'm going to click on it right now. There you go. So yeah, this is the type of thing that we're going to be shooting for right here. The Harbour of Carthage. I actually think that he's got the dimensions here pretty on point, because when we originally drew ours to the dimensions of Carthage, it was very similar to that. The circle's a lot smaller. I wanted to actually do it more like this, because I want to make more of a centerpiece of the circle itself. And we'll do towers on there. I think we will actually do some docks, etc. along the side here. Yeah, we'll do a couple. I'm sitting there thinking, if we do them too big, they're just going to start interfering with military traffic. You know, I'm feeling pretty good about this. Let's just merge these together. I'm feeling like we're there. We can always... clean things up if we need to. But I feel pretty good about what we're doing. Wrong push. This push. Now, one thing that I also like is I like this bridge on the back here, because of course this is an area where they can put their ships and stuff, their galleys. So we've got this whole area. I like this map, by the way. This is a kind of a cool map. Very nice. Thanks for finding that, Alex. I really do appreciate it. So while we've actually got the correct angle here, let's do this. I think that this is going to be a nice feature on the city. I am okay with that. Now that opening there, by the way, is about... It's about 80 feet across or something like that. I think that's okay. I think that's okay. For galleys, I think that's good. Let me know your thoughts. Okay, so that means this area here. What do I want to do here? You know what I want to do here? You know what I want to do here? It's something like this. Yeah, okay. Now there is a method to my madness here. Oh, no, let's not do that. Even though I like that effect. Color overlay. Tabletop center. Do I have a commission open? As in, am I available for commissions? I am not. Sorry. Or if you're asking, am I working on a commission? Yes, I am. But I'm typically about 6 to 9 months out all of the time. Theoretically, I'm going into next year, and I'm double booked for the summer season right now. Don't know why I'm calling it a summer season, but so my apologies. But if the work actually happens at the end of this year that's planned, we will be drawing a Drow City in Q4. And that's going to take me into Q1 of next year. And I'm talking to someone, but I'm going to assume that I'm under an NDA, so I'm not going to say who. About 2 more maps that are going to overlap with this one. So I'm kind of booked. Feldspar, the Crystal City. Of course, I type in Feldspar to sort of... Crystal City sounds intriguing. Is it a city that I would know if I search for it? The Crystal City Home, Facebook. Oh, what? Oh, excuse me. I assume I'm looking at Tabletop Santa right there. Hello. How you doing? So typically, my commissions work something along the following lines. For the next 3 months, I'm always neck deep in current projects. So for example, in Q1 of this year, it was Necropolis. Oh, and Frog God's Castle Keeper's Guide, right? So I could typically do 2 projects at the same time. That was Q1. And it overlapped and merged into working on this map and finishing up on the Vikings map. But then, if contract negotiations work out, it really depends. I might have 2 more cities on my plate to handle in the summer period. So, I need to, like, the answer is maybe, because I can handle 2 projects at once. I might be open. The Drow City isn't until the end of the year. So it really depends. If contract negotiations fall through, then I could be open for something. Otherwise, I'm always typically about 6 months out. I can start squeezing things in and talking to folks. So it really, honestly, always depends on what your timeline is. You know, when I have people come to me and they say, "Hey, I need it in the next couple of months," that falls in this. No, I am solidly booked at this point, and I can't squeeze it in. 6 months out, I can typically start squeezing things in again. You know, there's more wiggle room to things. So it really depends when you need it. George, good to see you. But ping me. I'm not going to put my email in the chat. You should be able to find my email somewhere. Actually, I should be able to PM you my email. Oh, end of 2022? Yeah, no problem. Even just next year in general, no problem. How do I send a whisper to you? Oh, I can't do it because I'm not in the Twitch chat. Hold on a sec. Let me bring up, because I'm actually using Stream OBS, and Stream OBS won't let me actually whisper to you, but I can do it this way. Here we go. That's better. Make sure I spot that right. Yeah, feel free to hit me up there anytime. I just whispered my email address to you. George, this is what we've been working on, by the way, George Fields. Just going to get a little bit of a dark area type thing going on in the big, huge Carthage-like harbour. I'm kind of putting some towers at the end of it. And I think we might start drawing city walls next. I think that's what we're going to do. I've actually got further than I expected tonight, so I'm feeling kind of pumped. This is taking shape. How have you been, George, anyway? How's life treating you? Do I want to make them big like that? You know, I kind of do. So I'm going to get rid of this. Yeah, I'm okay with that. That's our interpretation of the Carthage-like harbour. You know, as long as you have more ups than downs, I will take it. Isn't that kind of like the definition of, like, you know, where we're all at right now? Like, everyone's got, you know, let's not dick about with it. Let's do it more like this. Yeah, you know, the whole face-to-face gaming, that I hear you on. I think we're getting there. Right? The more we can get those vaccines out, the better this is going to be. In my gaming group, I think only 2 of us are completely unvaccinated. One is getting his very shortly. And the other 2 I know are vaccinated. And it's just me and one guy, and we're not. I think the minute we get our vaccinations, we're going to start gaming again. That's going to be weird. I think the entire first session It's just going to be us sitting around just bullshitting. It'll be the first time in forever that we've actually seen each other face to face, you know what I mean? We're not going to get any gaming done. We're just going to bullshit. We're real life friends, you know? Hey, Alla's here! Yay, Alla! Zilla, my in-person group is one shot away from full vaccinations. Wow, nice. You're almost there, girl. You're almost there. That's fantastic. So the way Oregon did this was kind of weird in a way. Like they did the usual, you know, phase 1, phase 2, etc., etc., etc. Of course, you know, get the elderly, get the frontline people, so on and so forth. And then our governor has gone, everyone else. Age of 18 up, just everyone else. And it's like, that is going to be a madhouse. It's going to be a madhouse. And that's in like 2 weeks' time, not even that. Less than 2 weeks. Actually, about a week and a half. Just everyone else. So I'm not sure when I'm actually going to be able to sneak my way in there. I mean, it's cool that like it's just everyone else. But that's fucking everyone else in the entire state. That's a huge volume of people are just going to go, wah. It's going to be like zombies just pouring over the wall in World War Z, you know? So I'm not sure that's the best way to do it, but okay. Thank you, Alex Vixen. I knew they were narrow. I didn't know they were narrow to the tune of 20 feet. I thought it was 20 to 30. But I guess, you know, you're going to also have the quadriremes and quinquiremes, and they're bigger. But I figured that like about 80 feet would be enough. Tabletop Santa, thank you so much. That's awesome. That is really awesome. Thank you. Really appreciate that. Get those little bits into the tip jar. Look at that. Little animation over there. Yeah, Alex Vixen, that's exactly what I plan on doing. One thing I do like is our things like we have what's called here Walgreens. It's basically a corner pharmacy, you know, like a chemist over in England, and they can do you know the vaccinations. Well, there's one literally just like 80 feet from me. It's just down the road. The downside is they have no more for the next 5 days. But I think once vaccinations start to come into the state, I should be able to go pretty close. You know, be good to go. But we'll see. I'm going to be, like every couple of days, I'm going to be looking for an opening. Try and get myself in there. So the real kicker for our group was I was actually in the middle of running Masks of Nyarlathotep. And that's, it's a Call of Cthulhu game if you're not familiar. And that's a pretty nuanced game, you know. Lots of NPCs and plot weaves and things like that. And they've got this mass of like player handouts and there's clues all over. It's almost like you can imagine a whiteboard with the strings attaching it. And so we're like a year on, they're definitely going to have to do some refiguring out of where they were at. That's going to be some re-gearing up right there. I've also got some bloody reading to get done because I was in the process of reading the next chapter. And then COVID hit and I was like, well, there's no point doing this now. So I haven't even read the book in a year. So there's definitely going to be a little bit of getting back into the swing. Yeah, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Gotta get that little crane in there. Gotta get that little crane. oh, by the way, do you see these little tiny buildings and everything? This is going to be about our average size of building in this city. If we do them like this, it's going to be a population of 200,000. These are our slums. I'm going to do some buildings that small. They are teeny, teeny, tiny. But we're going to actually do more like this kind of guy here, where they're leaning up against each other, you know? So we'll get there the next time we actually start drawing the buildings on this. For now, I think we should do the city walls. How are we tracking for time? Pretty good. We've got time to work on city walls. Alazilla, yeah, I'm not sure what to do with my in-person. It's been a year since we've played. Having a hard time remembering the plot. Exactly. Character nuances, exactly. Maybe we'll just toss it all out and start fresh. I respect that. I won't be tossing out the Masks of an Nyarlathotep. You know what I might do with, by the way, this, I'm not happy with that area there. Masks of Nyarlathotep, you know what I could do? Is I could actually have something happen to the player characters, but actually do it in-game. That actually does cause them to be a little foggy on some of the details about what has transpired to them over the last year of in-game time. I might do that. I might actually make it a feature of the game. Alright. So I am not happy with how that narrowed off. It seemed to be a weird kink. And I don't mean in the kinky way. So I'm just going to redraw that a little bit, I think. Alex Vixen, where were we in the Call of Cthulhu game? Fucked. Yeah, I get that, but how fucked? Not insane. Still have our souls. Not missing body parts. Not getting chased by a hungry Shoggoth. So pretty good, actually, considering. Yeah. Edge! Marion is here. Hey, Edge! Played Eldritch Horror, the board game, a couple of weeks ago. A lot of fun. I actually am a bit of a fan of most Call of Cthulhu board games. I gotta be honest with you. I think they work really quite well. At least the ones I've played. There she is! Princess is here! Good to see Princess. Princess, we've been making a lot of progress here, girlie. It's looking good. In fact, I'd better hit save. Because things happen. Okay. Let's play around with walls. Now, I'm going to warn you that I do my walls a little bit like these towers. I actually create my own battlements. And so that's actually going to be a little bit of time to do it. I could do a dotted line in Photoshop. I have a plugin for that. But it's too regular. I actually want a little bit of imperfection. So I'm going to do my own battlements. And I'm probably going to do that off camera. Because it's just me doing erase. You don't need to see that shit. I'm actually drawing Rome too. Just so you all know. I'm literally drawing Rome about 150 AD. Thereabouts. And I've done the battlements for the entire freaking city, so we could certainly do this one. Well, the good news is, Princess Strega, we've got 10 minutes of regular time, but I'm probably going to go 10 minutes long. So, feel free, pull up a pew, put your feet up, and enjoy what we're doing here. No, I did that. Come on. Okay, I'll do it another way. I'll do it this way. There we go. I'm gonna put actually a tower here. Oh, hold on a minute. I'm on the wrong brush. I'm on the freaking wrong brush. So when I do pen pressure size, which is what I'm on right now, if I actually... Did I take back 2 things? No, be good. Fine. Whatever. If I do a dot to dot, it actually... You can see there's a bit of a fade on that. Because it's going off the pen pressure size, right? Well, I don't want to do that when I'm drawing walls. I want it to be a solid line. With no variance. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change my brush like that. And then we get something much more impressive. And I'm not going to worry about towers or anything right now. We will add them later. Remember, the client actually sends us the shape of the city that they want. So while I want to make things kind of interesting when it comes to the walls, like not quite straight, we need to sort of stick with the general theme about what they were shooting for. Princess Trigger, good cup of coffee. That's lifeblood right there. Okay, so I am now going to duplicate this, and then I change the color of it to gray. And what I actually have here, let's just turn the trace off for a moment. I have one wall that is gray sitting on top of another wall that is black, right? So now, if I do this, I start to create a little battlements. I guess, strictly speaking, this is not the battlements. These are the crenellations, but you get what I mean. I would actually draw in the battlements, but at this scale, that's not going to be worth it. So we do the crenellations because it gives a good insinuation or suggestion to the eye of what we're shooting for, which is that right there. Print size, by the way, is something like that. So the crenellations definitely show as a texture. But you can see why I'm not necessarily going to do this entire thing on camera, because that's some tedium right there. Building size. So just so you all know, I draw in the this trace. I send it. This is where I typically always work, by the way. I'll sketch it in. I send it off to the client, and I did send it off to the client. Client was happy with everything. Client small on those little shacks. We'll make them more like just dilapidated buildings, but it could be multi-story and fairly large. And he really appreciated that we dropped in the Colosseum to scale. It gave him something, to zero in on. The only change is they moved where the slums are going to be. They're actually going to be a little bit more in this central southern area here versus huddled around the military area, which I actually think that's a good move to do. But otherwise, they're happy with everything, which is why I feel confident about inking this in. We're full speed ahead now. We're full speed ahead. And what I typically then do is I save it every 2 hours. And I send those to the client. The client gets to see them. If they have any changes, they can jump in straight away. If they have anything that they need me to, ensure that I capture, they can let me know before we sort of get too deep. But that way, the client is seeing progress. They know I'm working on their project, but they're also able to, jump in. And I think that's important. Only once have I had a client kind of get 21 updates and then say to me at the end that the buildings were too small. Only once. This way, you know, the client not only gets to see their city take shape, which they get excited about, you know, we get to talk about their project a lot, which gives it a good coverage. But, you know, they can actually sort of say, you know what, can you do this? And, you know, we haven't gone too deep into it. It's probably as close to, like, a client sitting over your shoulder watching while you draw it, right? Yeah, Princess, I agree with that one too. Slums around the military area, I mean, I can sell it in my head. I can kind of, you know, understand. I can make a story that makes it passable and plausible. But just something about it seemed a little bit off. So just shifting them a little bit, I think would be good. It would be a more natural sort of location. Princess, what happened when I worked on a Noble Dwarf map? You know the beautiful thing about working on a Noble Dwarf map and having Noble Dwarf actually in the channel and sometimes actually on as guests? They really had a lot of input into the shaping of their own city. That was kind of cool. Can you imagine if you got like the assignment and you went off to draw it and like 80 hours later you just put something in front of the client and it's the first time they see it? I mean, I stand by my maps. I think my maps come out really looking quite good. But if it was that deep into the project, like 80 hours, 100 hours, you might have missed a key feature. I once had a client, by the way, and it was a fairly big publisher, okay? This is not a small client. I'm not going to name them. But I did 3 cities for them. Not insignificant cities. Came out really looking very, very nice. And, like, everything was done. You know, they'd approved everything along the way. And then they said, oh, we forgot about this. Can you draw this in? And I was done. I was coloured and everything. That one was annoying. I don't like making alterations like post-colouring. Yeah, that one was a bit of a pain in the ass. You know, I should actually do a video one day of like my worst clients, but I don't want to like, you know, become an arsehole. But I've got some stories, man. I have some stories about some things that clients do. For the most part, I consider myself to be very, very, very lucky. But I've got one client on a map that actually probably is not even on the radar of any of you. Yeah, I think it's one of my most beautiful maps I've ever done. And he was the most awkward client I've ever freaking encountered. God damn. Yeah, fine, exactly. Too much Latvia. You get it. You get it. And Alex Vixen, exactly. It was that type of scenario. Yeah, I would absolutely not name names. I wouldn't even necessarily... I don't even think I would necessarily talk about the map. I wouldn't name the map, you know what I'm saying? Alright, so this is the general principle, what we're doing right here. And then I'm going to add towers. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the towers at the end, but you get the idea. You get the idea. I'm tempted to actually make this island here walled as well. I'm actually just going to, I'm going to merge these. Screw it. How are we doing for time? You know, this is actually a pretty good time to stop it. So I'm going to, let's actually get our narration here. I'm going to do a wall here as well, I think. And towers, of course. But I think that would be kind of neat. We need to get this wall drawn in. Oh, wait a minute. I actually just made a mistake. Hold on. Let me just take all of this back. There. Let's turn off my trace. Because I have actually drawn in this wall and I didn't think that I had. And I did a merge and that would have screwed everything up. That would have been a disaster. So I'm going to continue to do that, the erasing of the wall there. And I'm going to add as well to, like, you know, this sort of area. I think that would be kind of cool. We'll have towers going on here. And I kind of want to do, like, some kind of inner city kind of wall, like here, or something. Maybe end it early, like protect this sort of bridge type of deal. Kind of up in the air a little bit on that, but something like that, you know? So invaders can't just go, hello, thank you, hey, we're in your city, we're rampaging all over. You know, I just, something to stop that type of thing going on. Let's bring back the trace layer, let's hit save. Princess Strega, I always aim to bring joy, young lady. Alright, so this is good stopping point. I am going to work on this map in between streams, just so you know. Get some of the repetitious work out of the way. We will be back streaming next Monday. But if you need your Alyssa Faden fix in the meantime, go to YouTube, look up Alyssa Faden. It's actually Alyssa Faden Studios. I've got about 1,100 followers, something like that. Go over there. Check out my maps. I have a how-to video for drawing a city coming out over there. And if you've been missing my Salt Wolves of the Whale Road, you'll be able to catch videos there as well. Plus other things. Small business panels talking about Gax more with the Troll Lord Games and Ernie Gygax. Go over there. Hit me up with a like. Subscribe if you wish to humble me. And watch some of those videos. I would really appreciate it, because I want to know what you think of the content I'm doing that isn't streaming. In the meantime, every single one of you, thank you for hanging out with me tonight. I absolutely adore all of you for doing so. I will be back next Monday. Until then, I will see you all on the flip side, and I love you very much, especially you, Princess. Everyone, have a fantastic one. I'll see you in the next video.